Marilyn, the first thing I have to say to you, one word, creative. The
Mm.
music, the artwork, your expression is so creative. Can you share with us a little bit about the inspiration for that level of creativity?
Wow. Well, that's very nice to hear. I mean, I think that after my band Mudville sort of went defunct in 2009, I guess, officially, um, I know I kind of was left with two choices. Um, in my thinking. I didn't really know what just being in a spot where everything you've done creatively for the past about 10 years is just not going to happen that way anymore. So
Hmm.
it was either a tremendous challenge or a tremendous opportunity. I mean, both. It was actually both. So I said to myself, I'm gonna do this all myself. I'm gonna learn the recording gear. I mean, I'm an engineer, but I really didn't have a whole lot of experience in recent times using Pro Tools, and I always had an engineer. I always had a producer. So I said I'm going to do this myself. So I think it was an outgrowth of that, of me kind of going just hell bent for leather. Like
Yeah.
I'm just going to do this, and I'm not going to begrudge any part of it that I don't have help, that I don't, know what's going to happen after it. So maybe that's it. Just sort of a freedom, I just sort of decided I was going to free myself from any kind of constraint in my mind.
Wow, now you said something that's very powerful about not having any sort of grudge, about not having help. That's something I hear from artists all the time. I'm not getting the support I need. You kind of hear that song so much. So, how were you able to just say, you know what? I'm going to do this. I want to do this. Where did that strength come from, or that mindset?
Well, I mean, I have to put it down to my Buddhist practice.
Okay.
I've been practicing Buddhism for 23 years now, and the fundamental lesson of Buddhism is that people have infinite potential,
Mm,
and it's not always something that our little brain can really. I like intellectually we go, yay, great, but like in our heart we're full of we're always battling this sort of self doubt. But I think through my Buddhist practice, I've really been able to overcome that and sort of tap into that wellspring of confidence and potential that I have. And the confidence part has been huge because, I've recognized that because of the change in the music industry, a lot of the resources that were readily available to me before were dried up and gone.
mm.
Most of the people that I had worked with were not working at wherever they were working anymore. So really another lesson of Buddhism is to really be, broader, have a broader vision
Right.
than just what's right in front of you. So that was huge.
Well, now you know there's a saying that says necessity is the mother of invention. So the fact
Mm-hmm.
that your resources had dried up, and I truly feel that because I've been there. How did that impact your creativity? Because it can go both ways. It can make you want to give
Right.
up and quit, and it can also make you find really creative ways to get it done. So those resources being gone, what was that feeling? What was that place like?
Well, I mean, I certainly had a moment. I had a moment of like, oh shit,
Right, right.
like a naked, like, just kind of finding yourself in different surroundings, in foreign, alien surroundings. So I'm an explorer, by nature. I'm an adventurer by nature. I like to sort of dive into the unknown. So luckily for me, fortunately for me, I was able to make a conscious decision to say, no matter what, quote, no matter what, I am going to complete this. And I did. And when I made this record, this second record, I'm talking about Little Genius. This Leave Sadness Science, the new one. I mean, I had developed so much sort of fortitude and ability, and all of that that I gained from the first experience of making the record on my own was sort of magnified 100-fold because I was so determined. So I really absorbed a lot. I learned a lot, and it was a good thing that I had to do every little thing myself. Because then I was like, no worries when I embarked on the second one.
Hmm. Okay, so since you spoke of leaves, sadness, and science, that's
Mm-hmm.
such a great title. Leave, sadness, and science. You got to explain that.
Well, it has to do with an exhibit of Frida Kahlo's paintings that I saw in Atlanta. Um, and I love Frida Kahlo, but I never really got her until I saw this exhibition. And there were all these rooms, just normal rooms that look like anybody's room, but they were all painted different colors, like the furniture, the floor, everything in the room was painted a single color. And outside of each of the rooms was a little plaque that described how Frida felt about each of these colors.
Mm.
And so outside the blue room, it said blue is peace. And outside a yellow room, it said yellow is madness. And outside a green room, it said green is leaves, sadness, science. And there was just something about the whole experience of her life, seeing her retrospect of her life. And it was just like a boom. like you said, there's something very compelling about that phrase. And to me, it just represented sort of this all-encompassing notion that, like, everything you do encompasses the world.
Right.
Everything that you do, everything is connected. A determination that you make to overcome your own weakness, extends to all people and all endeavors. And to me, that was what I wanted to bring into the recording of this next batch of songs.
Wow. So, what has it been like? I see that your release party was last Friday on May 1st, which congratulations on that. But
Thank you.
what has it been like with the reception? How are people responding to this? First of all, are they getting it?
People are getting it,
Good.
and they're getting it on this visceral level that pleases me to no end. I mean, I think people are really feeling it, and the people who are able to sort of articulate specifics are
Mm-hmm.
are sort of hipping me to stuff that I didn't even think about. Just talking about lyrics and my fans, the people that like my music. Fortunately for me, it's rewarding thing for me is that they really pay attention to the lyric content because that's really important to me. I'm very specific about the poetry of it and the sort of solidity of the ideas of the lyrics. That there's nothing random about my lyrics. So yeah, I mean, they're just this is the way their look they give me, and I just feel like I've moved them in some way. I've moved them in the same way that the music moves me to make, and that to me is a tremendous success.
Wow, that's awesome. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And you brought up the lyrics. I think you're the first artist that I've seen who has a tab on your website where you actually have the lyrics. I've never seen that, and that makes a huge statement about where your focus is and how important your message is to you. I mean, I thought that that was really cool. So when you speak of your lyrics and your fans and the communication, what is that two-way communication like with your fans and the interaction? Even when you're on stage, what does that energy feel like? What are you feeling?
That's an interesting question. I mean, it feels like friendship.
Good. That's awesome.
It really does. It feels kind of like a kinship. It's kind of like when you meet somebody new and you just connect. You just feel like sort of a connection that extends beyond this moment, whether that's from the past or some potential for the future. You feel this human kinship. And I know that might sound kind of soft-headed and new age. And, when I'm saying it to you, I understand that it might look different in print. And, I always worry about that because it's far, it's in no way this kind of new agey kumbaya kind of thing. It, it's not like stadium rock does, like where it makes everybody, jump up and down at the same time. It's kind of not like that. It's almost like it makes all our hearts beat in rhythm or
Mm-hmm.
something, or our lymph glands pump in rhythm or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
And it
And
goes both ways. I mean,
yeah,
it's that for me too.
awesome. Now for you, you said that you did everything, the entire project. So what would be your most favorite part, the part that you enjoyed the most, and what was your least favorite, or maybe not least favorite, the most difficult?
um, well, I'm really into the initial part of it because I've been able to sort of let loose with this, fearless kind of approach. I'm good at just going, yeah, let's see what happens with that. Yeah, yeah, just throwing everything at the wall, like throwing the pasta at the wall to see if it sticks, kind of like that. And and I find that the more sort of free I am in that stage of it, the more I can recognize when it's good. When I have preconceptions, when I have anxiety, when I have any kind of angst at all. I mean, people who say they create in the middle of angst, like that's the opposite of me. I can't do that. I have to be super mellow, super free, super just excited and happy. That's when I can even write the songs about like the deepest misery. I have to be really happy to write about misery. It's kind of like it has to be behind me, or it has to have been percolating for a little while. So I think that's my favorite part is when I just kind of throw everything on there, and then I kind of listen to it and go, and like it's almost like my brain, my innards can pick out what I like and what I don't like, and then I do the editing, and then I pick it apart and kind of go, this doesn't work. This needs, to sound like a subway train. Or this does sound like a subway train. How cool is that? I didn't even intend for it to do that. And I think that if there's a least favorite, I don't know. There's really no part of if you're talking about the recording process or the writing process, I think maybe I think the scariest part is just to say, hey, I'm going to sit down and write a song. That's scary. That's hard because it's like, okay, you're going to come out. But it always does. That's the thing. I'm an idiot. I'm a moron. I always kind of go, oh, I don't know what I have in me. And then I sit down and do it, and I just chill out and just say, I'm going to do this. It's the determination is the catalyst.
Mm-hmm.
It's when my determination is really strong and all that, ridiculousness goes away, and then it's just fun. It's fun. I enjoy it. So I'd say there really isn't any part of it that I don't like.
That's good. And you can hear the fun in your voice, like you're just having a good time. And that's why I
Hmm.
asked that question because you sound like you're having a good time and it's fun, but you also are also working very, very hard. And I think that's the way. That's the way to go. You know, you should have fun working. So, what do you have coming? Because your tour schedule has been pretty consistent. So, what do you have coming up next?
Well, and that's difficult because Fiona has been trying to do very targeted booking, and it's all still pending. Like it's all it's we're trying to fit it into certain slots and a certain sort of geography. So as far as touring, I will be touring. I will be. Um, it's probably going to focus on the East Coast. Um, I have a band now that's just me and my good friend John Bollinger, and he is playing like electronic drums. I just posted a video this morning from the performance at the gallery the other night. You can see like he's playing these little. It's a really cool, sexy electro show,
Hmm.
and so it's nice and tight. And this is one of the obstacles that we had with my band Mudville is that it was just so unwieldy. It was like too many people, too much stuff, and that just costs too. It's too costly. So we're going to keep it nice and tight. And I'm hoping to go to a lot of the places where I've had dedicated fans, over the past few years who have kept saying, please come, to Brazil and Mexico City and Minneapolis. I've never been to any of those places,
Hmm.
and I really, I think my new determination is to really go and find those people.
Oh, that'll be a great experience, like finding old friends. So tell everybody,
Exactly, that's what it feels like. Absolutely.
yeah. So tell everybody how to follow you, how your
Hmm.
website, social media, all of that good stuff.
Great. Hello.
Hello, yeah. Tell everybody,
Hi.
tell everybody your website, your social media, and all of that stuff. How to
Oh,
find you.
tell everybody.
Yeah,
Oh,
tell us.
okay. Um, well, the website is MarilynCarino.com, and I'm on Twitter and Instagram as just at Marilyn Carino. I have a YouTube channel, Marilyn Carino. What is there? Facebook, of course, Marilyn Carino. I think it's Marilyn Carino Music. Um, but yeah, I mean, I enjoy social media. Um, I've met so many just really killer people via social media, and I want to know what people think. I'm really interested to know people's responses to the music, and I mean, that's part of why I'm doing it. Is I think in the last couple of years, I've grown in my love for human beings, and I was kind of a loner before, and now I just super love people, and I just I want to be like a citizen of the planet. I want to be an engaged citizen of the planet
That
with the
sounds,
music.
yeah, that sounds really cool. One last question: when you were talking about getting the feedback from the people, does that feedback get incorporated in your writing? Do you infuse it into your music? What you get back from them?
Um, I think again in a visceral way.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think I'm I'm usually not too surprised about the songs that people really respond to. And when I hear that, it sort of validates what I know went into it. What I was, the purity of intention
Mm-hmm.
that went into it. Um, and so that encourages me to try and get to that same spot the next time. It's like, wow, when I put that extra effort in, or when I really let go, or when I'm that uncompromising, or when I just like spill my guts, when I just really um, take time to put the poetry into the gut spilling, because I do it my own way, and it's it's okay. It's sometimes I think it's a little dense
Hmm.
for people, but when I hear comments like that, it's like I know I'm on the right track.
Oh yeah, definitely. When it comes from a genuine place, it touches a genuine place. That's so true. Very, very true.
Mm.
So, anything else you want to share before we go? You are very fascinating.
What did you say?
I said you are very fascinating. Anything else you want to share before we go?
Oh my goodness, that's so nice of you to say. That's lovely. Um, just I just want to express appreciation, for everybody who's stuck with me, over time, and just to know that I know them. I know who they are, and I do appreciate them and what what they give to me.
That is wonderful. Well, again, everybody, this is Marilyn Carino. Thank you so much for taking time to talk to us and share information and just for sharing your creativity and great music. So, thank you.